So you remember how Princess Cruise Line crashed their ship into the pier yesterday in San Francisco? Well, like I thought, the next cruise still has not left yet. There's literally people sitting on the ship waiting to find out what's going to happen. I'll share the full update on Ruby Princess. Plus, Starlink internet services are rolling out quickly across another Carnival brand of ships. And the iconic White Pass Railroad. Well, it might be off the menu for you this year in Alaska. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. We did it. We made it through another week. Hopefully you have some weekend plans here. I'm heading out to a soccer game as soon as I hit the upload button on this video. So let's get started. Ruby Princess collided with a pier in San Francisco yesterday morning around 6 a.m. as she was returning from a 10-night Alaska cruise. And unfortunately, that collision was pretty hard because it left a hole in the side of the ship, and we're looking at like a 6-foot minimum total damage spot that the Coast Guard and Princess Cruise Line is still investigating. Yes, despite Princess loading another round of passengers who are currently on board Ruby Princess, the ship is stuck in port, unable to be cleared by the U.S. Coast Guard for passenger operations. This is what I mentioned in yesterday's video. We weren't quite sure if Ruby Princess was safe and seaworthy to once again take on the waters up in Alaska with a giant hole in the back of the ship. You know, there's something about icebergs, holes, water, ships. Somebody told me a story that included all of those things one time. It didn't end well for the people on the ship. Now, we actually have more information about what happened with this crash. A spokesperson for the San Francisco Harbor Pilots Association, those are the folks who go on board the cruise ships, the harbor pilots, they're the experts. They're supposed to know how to get these ships in and out of port safely 100% of the time. Well, they're confirming a pilot of theirs was involved in the incident at Pier 27 yesterday, and they say they're cooperating with the necessary agencies to look into the matter, and obviously they have no further comments. Now, Ruby Princess was originally supposed to set sail at 4 p.m. yesterday, heading out on another 10-night Alaska cruise from San Francisco. But instead, she sits in port languishing with 3,200 guests on board, who all got to spend an extra night in San Fran, smelling the Ghirardelli chocolate, getting to peep out at the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, all those amazing sights. Yeah, San Francisco is a sightseer's dream. So there's worse places, I suppose, to be stuck. Unless, of course, you pay thousands of dollars to go to Alaska, then you'd probably be a little bit more upset. Now, Princess Cruise Line say they're going to provide passengers on board right now a goodwill gesture of compensation once the full effect of changes to their cruise becomes clear. Yeah, we're still not sure if this cruise is even going to sail at all. This could end up being a couple night stay on a hotel cruise ship before guests disembark and head home. And that would be, well, really awful, and I hope that doesn't happen. So where does this leave the Ruby Princess? She's sitting in port, already filled with passengers, just waiting for the green light. But they're waiting on something in particular. I'm going to tell you about it as soon as I remind you that the best way to support this channel is by gearing up for your next cruise in the Midships Amazon store. In there, you can find everything I take with me every single time I cruise. You can cruise like the pros do. Check it out. There's a link in the description down below. Now, getting back to the Ruby Princess, she's literally just sitting there waiting for the green light from the U.S. Coast Guard. And the U.S. Coast Guard is basically dragging their feet on this one. It's going to be up to them at the end of the day to say, hey, you either need to fix this before we let you go, or we've investigated and everything seems like it's going to be okay. You can work on the ship as you sail and offer cruises for your customers. Now, for their part, Princess Cruise Line claim they believe the Ruby Princess will be released by the Coast Guard today from San Francisco. That remains to be seen. It's not even hardly noon out there on the West Coast as of the time of this recording, so it's likely we won't have any idea as to the fate of everyone's Alaska vacation on board Ruby Princess. Make sure you get subscribed here to the channel. I'll be providing all the updates on this developing situation. Man, I feel bad for those cruisers on board Ruby Princess. And as a side note, if you look on Princess Cruises' website, Ruby Princess is now unavailable to book all the way until the 26th of next month. I'm not sure if those cruises were actually sold out or if Princess wisely pulled them from their inventory until they figure out just what's going on with the ship. And remember, this is not the first time Ruby Princess has had a troubled arrival into San Francisco, as some local news outlets quickly began comparing the languishing of Ruby Princess in port back to March of 2020, when Ruby Princess sailed in following a 15-day Panama Canal cruise at the outset of a global pandemic. That arrival was far more tragic, as it saw more than 100 people sick and 7 deaths resulting from that. If you made it this far into today's episode, please make sure you get subscribed to the channel as we push our way towards 20,000 subscribers. You could be the lucky number 20K. Make sure you get subscribed though, because I've got some really cool giveaways on the horizon here. There's going to be some great stuff getting handed out here to the Midships family. While you're down there subscribing, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up on this video if you hope that those folks stuck on the Ruby Princess get released to go back to their Alaska cruise as soon as possible. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships.